Hey everybody, this is Claire, and this is Small Joyful Things. As always, I go to thrift stores or estate sales, or sometimes I buy things from Craigslist, and I'm always looking for stuff when I don't bump the camera. I'm looking for things that I find interesting, or I think you might find interesting, and then I bring them home, try and find out as much as I can about them, and then tell you guys about them. So here's what I've got today. I have this little picture. We've got this really lovely pattern on it going all the way around. Hopefully you guys will get a kick out of that. I bought this in a thrift store for $4, and I picked it up kind of, and it had this usual feeling. Basically, when you pick up something and you know that it's well usable, you know that it's got a purpose and it's good for that purpose. And I have to say, this little picture, when you pick it up, it has a nice weight to it, a nice kind of pour to this. It is very comfortable to hold and to use. Like, I've seen a lot of these little pictures that are just like really decorative only, and they like they're clearly not actually, obviously not functional. This one is definitely functional. This is meant to be used. So why did I buy it for $4? Considering this is just a transfer pattern and something special? No. Franciscan pottery, we meet again. So I'm just going to measure this up. It is about 6 inches high. It is about 4.5 inches from about the handle, and about 3.5 inches across. So basically, I was looking at this and I was like, I kind of wanted to pick it up just because I basically saw the mark and I thought, oh, that's great. That's an early Franciscan mark. Because if you recall, I've done a few videos already about a few different Franciscan pieces. I've got one of the lovely sunburst, that sugar bowl that was actually sold, and I still have a few pieces of desert rose, which is one of the very early patterns of Franciscan. I still have some of those knocking around. So I've done quite a bit of reading on the actual marks and everything for Franciscan pottery. So as soon as I saw that, I thought, yeah, that's right. That's the good stuff. Now, it is very hard to see because you can obviously see the Made in USA here. Gladberger & Co. You can't really even make it out. So hold on a sec. Now, I'm sure I've actually done this before because I've gone through some of the history and everything of Franciscan. Gladding McBean & Co. There we go. Gladding McBean & Co. That is what that says. You can almost make it out. It's just not impressed very well. It's Gladding McBean & Co. There we go. And that's actually really good for us. That actually lets us date this a little bit more accurately. Now, first of all, what exactly is it? It's this. It is the 12-ounce pitcher. As far as I know, it's used for syrup. So there you go. This is the piece that if you wanted to, you know, pour maple syrup on your pancakes in the morning, this is a little pitcher that would do it. And just so you know, I did actually run over it. There is a slight roughness right here, but I looked at it super carefully and I think there's just a tiniest little chip there. I think that's it. I can't find any other defect on it. I'm just like, I'm not sure how big a deal that tiny little chip there is. I kind of still bought it because, you know, I thought for $4 it's still, you know, vintage Franciscan. I like it. I think it's kind of nice. But anyway, if we actually take a look at it, okay, the first thing that you're going to look at it, height 6 inches. Again, I keep saying, like, measurement is important. Measurement is identifying. Like, if something has the same size as a piece that's actually listed, you know, in the right category, then odds are it's going to be the same thing. The other thing I was looking at in this case, because Franciscan did a bunch of different pictures of different sizes, and it's going to be kind of a bit hard to tell, or at least I would be kind of hard pressed to tell offhand, like, well, like, you know, what size is this? How many ounces is that? I certainly wouldn't know offhand, but the pattern is the same. You can see it shows up here. If you hold it up kind of at the same angle, it lines up the same. There's the same pattern in the same place, most importantly. If you're looking at some of the other pictures, the pattern would be in a different place just because they're bigger or smaller, and it's not obvious from looking at like photos online how, you know, big something is. You'd have to actually go in and, you know, look at the size to be sure you've got a comparable thing. But anyway, if we're actually looking at this, now I've heard it listed as autumn, it's been listed as autumn leaves, but the official name is apparently autumn, and it's discontinued. Actual was 1955 to 1966. And now here's the thing, because we have Gladding McBean and Co. Yeah, because it's Gladding McBean and Co., we can actually date this quite nicely, because Franciscan ceramics or ceramic tableware and tile products produced by Gladding McBean & Co. in Los Angeles, California from 1932 to 1962. Lovely. Gladding McBean & Co. That means this is 1955 to 1962, not 1966. This is going to be earlier than that transfer over to Interpace. And I have seen the mark or whatever for Interpace. It looks a little bit different. It actually has, I think, Interpace up there instead. So that's great. This is going to be the early 60s. That's really interesting. I do know that when people are actually looking for patterns, they would prefer to have one that is like all the same mark underneath. I'm not sure how relevant this is going to be, considering that this is quite a bit older. Like 1955 to 1966 is not a really long range or whatever for this to be produced, especially when you consider something like Desert Rose was definitely produced for quite a bit longer than that. But the actual set itself is very nice, I have to say. It is just, it's very pretty. It's in a lovely kind of classic design. I'm pretty sure that even today, people would be digging this. Salt and pepper shaker, the salt and pepper shaker set is especially nice. But yeah, whole tableware. Okay, so I said all that. What's it worth? So here we go. The autumn picture, and I actually should, if I'm being sensible, call it by its actual name. The autumn picture. What have we got? Now you can see again, this is where the size becomes important. This one is the 10-inch one, not the 6-inch one. The pattern is different. Just you know just from visual reference, that's not the same picture. We do have a set of 3 here, 3 together, going and being offered for 181, I think about 150 US, I'm gonna say. There's another 10-inch one. There's a one that they don't specify there, but you can see that the pattern is the same as this, was probably another 10-inch one. And you can, again, the pattern's not quite the same. That says 59 3/4 inch, 8 1/4 inch, and then we've got essentially some other ones here. That I'm pretty sure is probably not part of the set. That does not look like the right pattern. But yeah, like there's quite a bit of it all here. So let's just change this. What's this sell for? And we kind of get the same results. And really, that's our most comparable thing. That is the Franciscan Pottery Autumn Leaves 12-ounce syrup pitcher, 6 1/4 inches. Well, close enough, you know. And this is mid-century modern USA. So selling for $21.86 Canadian, or best offer plus the ridiculous amount of shipping. But if you just, you know, put the angle to about the same, oh yeah, there you go. That's about the right pattern. But that's really good. That's about close enough for comparison for us anyway. That's awesome. So we know that this is definitely a popular pattern still. It is being sold. Like, people are still collecting it. And it's got plenty of sales, even of just the pictures or whatever, in the last like 3 months. So I think for the $3 or $4 I spent on it, that's a fairly good investment. So what's probably going to happen with this little one is that it'll be going up on Etsy, and I will probably sell it for, I would say, about $20. Everything I put up on Etsy is actually listed in Canadian dollars, because that's just how Etsy works. So I will be listing it for $20 Canadian plus whatever I need for shipping, which is going to be probably about $10 to $15 on top of that. So $35 all in, and then I put free shipping on it, because it makes it easier for me to actually like to sell something. It makes it easier to kind of calculate that stuff. Just throw a flat amount in to cover my shipping costs. But there you go. I think Franciscan is just a really good buy overall. The small stuff just, you know, it seems to be like it's this nice like mid-century style. A lot of it is really, really good quality. People just seem to like it. So if you do see Franciscan stuff in a thrift store, especially if you see the older marks, stuff from like the 1950s and early 1960s, it is definitely worth taking a second look at if it's in good condition. Don't follow my example and just buy stuff sight unseen, though. You should probably Google it first, just to be sure. But definitely familiarize yourself with Franciscan marks so you will know it when you see it. I definitely think for $3 or $4 this is a good buy. So this is my small joyful thing for the day. I hope you guys like it as well. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.